Good evening, everyone. Late Night Mega here, and tonight we're going to do a pack opening for Aetherdrift. But before we get into that, we're going to buy the Set Mastery. This is something that I recommend buying at the end of when you're done drafting and all of that for a couple of reasons. Number one, you want to make sure that you get through all or most of the Mastery Pass. Even if you don't get through all of it, it can still be worth your value. You could figure that out on your own. But if you get through all of it, it is a tremendous value. But sometimes, life might get in the way or whatever. And so you want to make sure you get enough levels or all the levels so you get the maximum benefit out of the Mastery Pass. And number two, you want to wait till you're done drafting because you get these mythic cards, and these are going to be mythics that you don't have in your collection. So we can't get any duplicates of something that we already have 4 of. So we will be getting 10 new mythics. And so the reason why you want to wait until after you're done drafting is kind of the same reason you want to wait until after you're done drafting to open your packs. And that is, you're going to open packs of cards and get rares and mythics that you don't already have a full set of. Whereas if we were doing the Mastery Pass all along and we had unlocked the Mastery Pass, there's a chance we could get mythics from the Mastery Pass that we might have gotten by drafting. And if we were to go into our collection here, we'll just take a look at Aetherdrift real quick. Aetherdrift Mythics. You can see I have a full set of Bright Glass Gearhulk, a full set of Mimeoplasm. Didn't get a full set of the Radiant Lotus, and I kind of passed it up a few times. Full set of Ketramos, full set of Riptide Gearhulk, and Valor's Flagship. This means that when we get those 10 mythics, it's going to be cards that aren't those cards. We're going to get something different. Alright, so with that, let's unlock the Mastery Pass.
That storm looks dangerous. I've never seen anything like it.
And just by unlocking the Mastery Pass, and if you have enough levels, you get the draft token, you get 1,200 gems, so those two combined is essentially 2,700 gems back out of your 3,400 gems that you put into this, plus 4,000 gold, which if you're using the gold to enter draft events, that would convert to 4/10 of a draft. 4/10 of 1,500 gems would be 600 gems, if I'm doing my mental math correctly. So yeah, so now we're up to 3,300 gems that we just got back right here. Plus you get those 10 mythic cards from the set, which you could value at 200 gems each because the cost of a pack is 200 gems. You get 1 rare mythic per pack. That's how I like to look at it. Plus we get 20 more packs. Got Loot, Aether Spark, there's the Radiant Lotus, Salvation Engine. So yeah, all new stuff. March of the World Ooze, and I've got 4 of those. Speed Demon, Mu Yanglin, and Hazaret. And then you get some card styles, some cosmetic stuff. I don't put any value on this. I mean, you can if you want, but between the 20 packs and the gems and the draft token and the gold, you're well worth your... you get your money's worth out of the Mastery Pass, that is for sure. Alright, let's get into the pack opening. And we'll start with the Outlaws of Thunder Junction here. What am I hoping to get out of this pack? I don't know. Not much of anything, really. Calamity? Sure, we'll take a Calamity. Oh, we got one of the bonus cards at rare, Ionize. I remember that card. Pretty neat. Hellspur Posse Boss. Okay. Akul the Unrepentant. That is certainly a card. And then there's Pitiless Carnage. Sacrifice any number of permanents you control, then draw that many cards. Alright, Bloomburrow. What am I hoping to get out of Bloomburrow? I don't know, maybe like Mockingbird? Season of Weaving. Nice little mythic there. Beastbinder. That card was always annoying to play against in draft. Oh, Mythic Wildcard. Those are always nice too. And another mythic, Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest. Cool. Duskmourn, I'm hoping to get more of the Verge lands. I think I'm only missing a set of the black-red and green-red Verge lands. I'm hoping to get, you know, at least one of them here. Waltz of Rage, that's almost a land. Except for the part where it's not. Enduring Curiosity, that's a good card. Well, we got a Fly Trap, that's okay too. That card does see play in Gruul Delirium. Kellen Planner Trailblazer. I don't even know what most of these do. That card seems good in draft. Incinerating Blast deals 6 damage to target creature. You may discard a card if you do draw. Huh. Yeah, I never drafted Foundations. I didn't pay too much attention to it. Which seems kind of bad, considering that Foundations is going to be in Standard for, what, 4 years or 5 years or something? Como World Eater. Okay. Time Stop, that's one that I don't mind opening. Alright, time for Aetherdrift packs. Now, I'm only going to do this once, and only because there's a achievement for opening 10 packs at once. See, there you go. That's because all these cards flying around, oh my gosh, it makes me a little bit dizzy. I don't like the way that these open. Mendicant Core, Samut, Gastal, Thrill Roller, Verge. Now I should, in theory, I might have enough.
I'm gonna smoke the competition.
Oh, there's Chandra. And Lu Yanglin. I should have enough packs where we should get all copies, or a full set of all the regular rares in this set, or come very close to it. So while we're opening these packs, I also kind of like to review the format and some of the big takeaways from it. Overall, I enjoyed this set. I enjoyed drafting this set a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, we have two. Oh, a Chrome Mox. One of the special guest cards. Nice. And one thing that was really interesting to me was how the dynamics of the draft format shifted as time went on. And it's shifted like something I've never seen before. Usually in draft formats, like say a 3-color, ooh, last ride. Say a 3-color set, like say Streets of New Capenna, where later in the draft set, people start taking the mana or color fixing a lot more highly than they otherwise would.
Danger! Prizes! You know I'm in.
That's 3 mythics in a row. Not complaining, by the way. Just noting. And what we saw was a very dynamic shift where green became so very overdrafted because of cards like Stampeding Scurryfoot and the Mammoth here, that you started out the format seeing a lot of these grindy green decks that was just far and away better than anything it could be done. But then green became vastly overdrafted. I think part of the reason is some of the advice that was out there. And some of the advice that I'd seen other drafters give was to try to be green, even though if you know it's overdrafted. And this resulted in green being as overdrafted as it is. And I'm not saying that it's not right to try and draft green if you can. When you're drafting Aetherdrift, you probably should. But it got to a point where, like, if you tried to be green and it ended up not being open or not being open enough, you just end up with a really mediocre green X deck. And you end up not doing so well. I've had a few of those drafts. Oh, there's a Boommobile. But what happened was, those grindy green decks that were far and away the best thing in the format, they kind of went away when green became overdrafted. And it kind of opened up a lot of other colors and color combinations in the format to have success, even aggro decks having some success. Because at the start of the format, everyone was like, oh, aggro decks don't really exist. Even still, the Boros aggro decks weren't great. Boros still being one of the weaker color combinations. There's Hazard of the Dunes, Regal Imperiosaur. Very nice stuff. And so these other decks and aggro decks got a chance to shine. And I think when green stayed overdrafted, it kind of like rebalanced the format in a way. And I found it very interesting. Overall, I enjoyed this format. I feel like all the colors were usable. Oh, there's a Sky Sovereign. That card's busted and limited. That was one of the special guest cards, so you didn't have to play against it much. Another Verge land, that's nice. So yeah, I ended up liking the dynamics of the format after green became, you know, overdrafted and other colors got a chance to shine. Oh, another Verge, nice. Like, white was considered the weakest color, but even then, I don't think white was unplayably bad. I guess that's one of the reasons I ended up enjoying this format, because you could just be almost any color combination, or at least play any individual color, and you can still get a fine, serviceable deck. Like, we had 7 wins with Gruul, we had 7 wins with Orzhov. We had 7 wins with blue-green, with black-green. It was just a I found it to be a very balanced set, and I enjoyed drafting it, I enjoyed playing it. Like I said, a lot more than I thought I would. Flavor-wise with the set, I know people kind of make fun of the whole, oh, it's Magic is doing these raceways and having races, and it's all just kind of silly, and you know, some of that I agree with. There's a lot of hate on vehicles too. Vehicles have been around since the original Kaladesh, though I remember when original Kaladesh came out, people hated on vehicles too, saying it's not Magic themed and that. But we're getting Spider-Man later this year. And you want to talk about something that's not Magic themed. Salvation Engine, that's a really strong card. Oil Deep Gear Hulk. Stock Up is really good too. And Lightning Strike, I'm not sure if I ever drafted a Lightning Strike. Did I ever get a chance to draft Lightning Strike? I imagine I must have at some point. I just don't remember it. Because it feels like I was always taking something else over the Lightning Strike when we did have the opportunity to grab it. Let's see, other mechanics in the set. The starter engines or max speed. I thought it was okay. Some of the payoffs for getting max speed were not that impressive. When you're talking about the commons and uncommons, though, I feel like there was a max speed card in every color that you had to be mindful of. Like for white, it would be Perilous Snare. For the Orzhov combination, it could be a number of things like Zahur. Order of Invention? That art is so weird. Like, what is that? It looks like a 5-year-old scribbled on this card. Who came up with that? I could probably look at the artist and see. You had vehicles again, which I didn't mind. Anyways, back to the max speed. In black, you also had things like... Oh, speaking of Zahur. You had things like the Streaking Oil Gorger that we had in that last pack down there. You had... Risen Necro Regent, the one that makes 2/2 zombies each turn if you have max speed. In blue, you have the Aether Siphon. I don't think Mono Green had a terrifying max speed card, though. I can't think of one offhand. At least not at the common or uncommon level. And I know it's kind of silly to think that, you know, a set whose flavor is about going fast and racing and that has this max speed mechanic, which ends up being kind of a slower mechanic because you have to damage your opponent on 3 separate turns in order to get max speed to get the bonuses from the max speed cards. But as far as the actual gameplay, I think the max speed worked out well in this set, or in the context of this set, with it being a bit of a slower set. Because you would have time in your games to get to the max speed. Countdown Luck, okay. What else do I have to say about the set? Crypt Caller Chariot. I never got to use this card in draft. It would probably be at its best in a blue-red splashing black deck. As I could talk about the different themes of each deck. Well, then you had Starting Column, you had Embalmed Descendant as more max speed payoff cards. So archetypes, we had a lot of variety in those as well. We had blue-red discard, or cycling. We had essentially Esper-colored artifacts. You had black-white start your engines, aggro. You had red-black start your engines, aggro. You had your green exhaust decks. Ooh, River Turn Monument. That's another bomb in limited. Voyager Glide Car. Okay.
I'm gonna smoke the competition.
That's got to be my 4th Chandra. Because we drafted 1 and I'm pretty sure we've opened 3 now. What else am I looking for aside from the rares in this set, which I think I'm going to get all of? We opened a couple of those monuments earlier. Thunderous Velocipede? Yeah, sure. I'd like those. Other mythics I would be looking for. I'm not sure. We're getting mythic wildcards, so I can always craft anything that I still need. Salvation Engine is cool. There's the Bastronaut. That was my first one of those. I never drafted it. I do know that. Far Fortune End Boss, that's a cool card for start your engines. Just keep pinging your opponent every time you attack, and then when you get to max speed, which is really easy to do with Far Fortune out there, everything you do does an additional point of damage. Another Velocipede. Another Far Fortune. I think I have opened all the Verge lands I need. The only downside to waiting until... Ooh, Aether Spark. Waiting until after you're done drafting to open your packs is that... ooh, Sabsunin. Cavalier of Dawn. It's another weird-looking guard. Is that if you're playing in constructed formats, as I do sometimes, I enjoy draft a lot more. If it wasn't for draft, I probably wouldn't be playing Arena that much. But when I do play constructed, and there's a new standard set out, it's kind of like I don't want to spend rare wild cards on cards from the current set because I'm still drafting it, and I'll probably end up picking up all of those just through draft. Oh, there's Risen Necro Regent, the thing that makes tokens. Another monument of the Nightmare Frog variety. So it can sometimes be challenging to find standard decks to play while I'm essentially playing without a set, or I'm only playing with, cards I've drafted out of a new set. Though with standard now being a 3-year standard, so the cards last longer, less cards from Aetherdrift became relevant in Standard. Most of the relevant ones from Aetherdrift were like Ride's End, Stock Up, things that I did pick up while drafting. And those are common and uncommon as well. Howl Squad Heavy, but I've been seeing like Goblin decks with Howl Squad Heavy and the Burnout Bastronaut, and it's like I can't play those right now because I'm not going to spend the rare wild cards on them because I can just get them when I open the set. Plus the Goblins deck would take more rare wild cards than what I had going into this. Since I didn't draft anything of Foundations either, and that's where a lot of the other goblins came from. And they were rare too. I think there's at least 2 rare ones from Foundations. What was my favorite deck that we ended up playing? I would say probably one of the Orzhov max speed decks. I had fun with those. Another Aether Spark. We're getting down here near the end. That's got to be the 4th Bastronaut. I feel like I've seen him a lot recently. District Mascot, okay. Another mascot. Vinwix. And I also like the Thundering Broodwagon decks we had too early on in the format. Those were fun. Now we're starting to get the same rares in a row here. Gotta be close to getting all the regular rares. Bloodghast. And Bloodghast. Okay, that should be all the Bloodghast I need, because I know I drafted a couple of them. Oh, yep. We are starting to get gems for these. So I have collected all of the regular rares in the set. This one's a mythic. Oh, it's a mythic wild card. That's still just as good. I can tell that it's going to be a... okay, so this is gems. I can tell because the gem count is going up, like, as soon as I click the pack. Gems. More gems. Yeah, rare wild card. Common, uncommon, and rare wild card all in the same pack. Very nice. I'm still going to open these one at a time here. Because we are still getting mythics. Another Thunderous Philosophy. That's got to be my 4th one of those, too. Alright, and that's all for the packs. Let's go into the collection, see how we did. I just want to make sure we got commons. And if I put in quantity less than 4, okay, there's none. So how about uncommons? Okay, so there's some uncommons that I'd still need to craft. Do this just to have a complete set of the commons and uncommons. I kind of wish the uncommons got the same treatment as rares when you're opening packs, in the sense that they're going to give you copies of uncommons that you don't have a full set of before giving you uncommons you have duplicates of. And rares, we kind of already know. How about mythics? I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mythics from completing a set. You know, there's an achievement for completing all of a set. Let's just do it. Oh, I like that sound effect. I didn't think I would be this close to completing the whole set. But that gives me a new achievement too. And while we're at it, 237% vault progress. Let's open the vault a couple times. Get some more wild cards. Alright, and that's going to be all for me. Thank you guys for watching. Coming up on the channel, we're going to have some quick drafts of Murders at Karlov Manor. Those are going to go live sometime. I do intend to do a few of those until Tarkir Dragonstorm hits, and then we'll be drafting that set. Maybe getting, you know, a full set of that too. Who knows? But for now, I'll take my leave.